Hello and welcome. Very glad that you joined our webinar tonight. We're going to be discussing LinkedIn and talking about how to really leverage this platform to become an all-star. And I'm going to share with you the 5 key steps to really becoming a LinkedIn all-star. And many people don't know about this. And I see everyday average, mediocre profiles. If you're joining this call today, it means that you do not want to be average. You're investing time in yourself and developing your skills, so hats off to you. Pat yourself on the back. I really respect and look up to folks that are always working on their professional development, and that means you. So congratulations. And before I dive into the awesome content, I want to first share with you my LinkedIn story, what drives me, why I'm so passionate about LinkedIn, and why you should care. And my story begins in Miami. I was born and raised in Miami, the son of parents that were immigrants, came to this country looking for a better opportunity to give their children. And my stepdad was a construction worker. My mom is a maid. So I was not raised in the business world or had that business background like some of my colleagues and have now, and some of my people I've met, have had. So that could present challenges, and I'll discuss exactly how LinkedIn helped me overcome maybe that disadvantage that I was at, where I saw some of people that I'm graduating with that they never had to worry about finding a job once they graduated because dad had everything lined up for them already, because dad was a CEO at a company or dad was very well connected and had plenty of opportunities to give to their son or their daughter. So in my case, I needed to work a little harder, work a little smarter to grow my network, because I realized going to college, going to FIU, going to Florida International University, I realized that knowing a lot is important, right? Being educated is important. My parents always instilled in me, Jeff, you want to study, you want to do well in school, you want to be as smart as possible. And that will I came to realize later, that will only take you so far. It's not so much about what you know. That's important, don't get me wrong, but equally or even more important in instances, it's who you know that will make a difference in your success. The people that you're connected to, who knows you, could help you get those doors of opportunity wide open and giving you that advantage that you need, that competitive advantage to be successful in this day and age. So LinkedIn, again, alluding to why LinkedIn is such an important tool, because it will help you build a great network. And the person that introduced me to LinkedIn is pictured right here on this slide, Nancy Rosale, my professor at FIU. She was teaching a personal selling class and told me about LinkedIn and taught me why I should care about this up-and-coming website. At the time, I did not know anything about it, so that same night I went, created my profile, started studying as much as possible, really took my professor's advice to heart, and did everything I could to become an expert at the tool. And slowly and surely, I developed some great LinkedIn knowledge and skills and expertise, and really started teaching people about how to leverage this for opportunities. And I found my first real opportunity through LinkedIn. I joined a group. It was coincidentally the FIU Business Alumni Group, and in that group, a recruiter posted up opportunity. They were looking for an intern for that summer at ADP, which happens to be a huge, Fortune 500 company, automatic data processing. They do payroll for hundreds of thousands of companies across the globe. So I got a chance to work there in their major sales department. Connected with great sales executives, got so much knowledge from that experience, and just having that name on my resume opened up plenty of doors for me and connecting me with a lot of great people. But the opportunity itself, the people I met there were very insightful, gave me some great knowledge. I'm still connected to them to this day, and through LinkedIn, of course, and other channels, we stay in close touch. And while I was there, I also gave a lot of value to the organization, where I was teaching them how they could use LinkedIn to learn more about the prospects that they were trying to get in front of, and doing research on clients that they wanted to attract, and knowing more about people that we were going to a meeting with. So it was my gift to ADP, to the people there, and they benefited quite a lot from it. It was a great mutual beneficial relationship. Ended that summer with a job offer from their director because of the work that I did with LinkedIn, and also with my performance in sales and in relationship building. So that really, for me to get that opportunity, it built a lot of confidence for myself, built my self-esteem. I felt like, wow, there's great opportunities out there. You just have to be very proactive and strategic in finding the opportunities that align with what you want. And luckily, because of LinkedIn and my professor telling me about LinkedIn, I was able to get that amazing opportunity that changed. It was a game changer for my career. So now, having that under kind of a notch in my belt, I still had a whole semester of college to finish, so I went back to my university, and instead of just resting on that job offer, I said, hey, what else can I do? If I did this, there's probably so much more that I could do. Let me not stop now. So started learning more about LinkedIn. It evolves every day, just like every other social media platform. So stayed up to date with all the information about the platform, and also was teaching it. So not only I wasn't holding these secrets to myself, but I taught a lot of my fellow classmates about LinkedIn, because this opportunity changed my life, and I wanted the same thing for them. So I was teaching them best practices, how to create a profile. We did some sessions at FIU where we actually took great professional photos of students and just did all types of creative and educational workshops that really helped a lot of my classmates get opportunities, get job offers and internships, and it was my way of giving back. And it escalated to the point where professors were inviting me as a guest speaker, as a guest lecturer for their class, even though I was still a student, haven't received my bachelor's yet. I was already doing a lot of public speaking throughout the university, and it grew to being asked to come to businesses and nonprofits and providing consulting around social media, but specifically around LinkedIn. So by the time I finished and I was walking the stage at FIU ready to receive my diploma, I had 4 job offers on the table, 3 from Fortune 500 companies, 1 from an ad agency, and I was very blessed, very fortunate. My decision, I was in a good place where my toughest, my challenge was deciding where I wanted to go, and it's something that I was very proud of, very blessed and fortunate, and I want that for everyone that is a senior in college now. I want to make sure that they're in that same position. And keep in mind that I did this during a time where the economy wasn't at its best. The job offers were not coming in as much as they did in the past, and there was a lot of challenges. So that's why I took the initiative learning about LinkedIn. That gave me a competitive advantage and really separated me from your average graduate. So I don't want anyone on this call. I'm allergic to average. Don't want anyone here to be an average college graduate or an average sales professional or an average HR professional or an average professor. I want you guys to all be above average, and that's why being an all-star means that you're above average. So congratulations on taking the first step to rising above mediocrity. So I ended up, I declined the Fortune 500 company offers because my heart was in the ad agency world, and I joined the agency MediaWiz and got off to a huge start at that organization. Actually, the year that I started, we ended up being one of the top ad agencies in the country. While working there, keep in mind, I'm a freshly minted grad. Don't have a huge business network at this point. I'm starting to develop it and grow it because of LinkedIn and because of a lot of face-to-face networking and trade shows that I've had the opportunity to attend, but it was slowly starting to grow, and the momentum was building, and I was using my network to now get in front of some very high-level executives at the companies that you see on this slide here. So I was getting introduced to CMOs at Fortune 500 companies, consulting some executives at these organizations, starting to help them in creating their social media strategy, their online marketing strategy. And I generated $1.2 million in revenue as an account executive at MediaWiz. Now, if you were to ask me, Jeff, what was the secret to that? I'll tell you, it's a lot of different stuff that I did. Of course, I worked very hard. I did a lot of traveling, met a lot of great people, had good sales skills that I still continue to develop to this day. But if I had to say, one thing that gave me an advantage in being able to do that, I would have to point my finger to LinkedIn and tell you that LinkedIn was what helped me get those introductions. I never got any leads working at that agency. I created everything from scratch, created relationships from just an invite to connect that I sent out through LinkedIn. So that's why I'm such a huge proponent of this platform, because I know I've been able to see what it's doing in my life, and I love it, and I want that for everyone that's on this call today. By the time I left MediaWiz, I had $3 million in my sales pipeline. So MediaWiz continued to generate revenue even after I left the organization. And I decided to join Vocus in 2012. My family and I packed up. We moved to the Washington, D.C. area, and Vocus was by far my favorite organization in the area. They have an amazing culture, have great product and services, and I needed to be part of their ranks. So I ended up joining Vocus in 2012, got started with a running start, and hit 269% of my goal within 4 or 5 months of joining the organization. Actually broke the record of the fastest sales executive to get into the Elite President's Club tier. So very high level accomplishments. And again, why? Because LinkedIn did help out quite a bit in making that possible. And throughout this time, still continuing to teach others about LinkedIn and social media, and giving folks motivation that they need to become inspired to achieve greater things in their lives. I think everyone's capable of greatness, and I want to be able to find the right things to say to get them to want to go after that. So I founded Miami Public Speakers as a way of helping speakers get in front of audiences, and now it's become the leading speakers bureau down in the South Florida area, and was able to double my income from 2012 to 2013 because of LinkedIn, because of a lot of other stuff as well, but LinkedIn has been a great driver in making all these accomplishments possible for myself. And today, you're going to be learning my secrets, my tips on how to be able to achieve that and more in your professional life. So thank you, LinkedIn, and thank you to you for being on this call today. So before I dive into the content, we're going to get there. I promise you, it's going to be good. But I want to give you a little bit of history on LinkedIn and why you should pay closer attention to this network than you are currently. LinkedIn, unlike other social networks or professional networks, it was not created from a garage. It was not founded by a college student or a high school dropout. This was founded by very seasoned professionals, executives at well-known organizations. Reid Hoffman, for example, was the executive vice president of PayPal at the time that he decided to create LinkedIn with his co-founder, Alan Blue. They connected, working on the project. They started talking, realized, wow, there's a rise of these social networking platforms, but nothing that's focused on business and on the professional network. So they went to work with that idea. They started creating LinkedIn, went live in 2003, and day one had 355 members, so their family, friends, close colleagues joined LinkedIn. By 2007, close to 9 million people were already signed up for this website. Fast forward to today, 2014, we've got 259 million LinkedIn members. So quite an increase from a couple hundred they had on that first day. Stock went public 2011. Day one, stock closed at $93. Very happy to see that level of success. But now we're at $213. So if you would have invested $10,000 when that stock first opened, you would have doubled your money, more than doubled your money today. So that, again, as a businessman, I look at these things and it makes me want to take note of LinkedIn even more, because I see the growth, not just in the growth personally that I've accomplished with the tool, but the growth that the company is having. They're not going anywhere. So we all need to be aware of how to really leverage this, because it's becoming more ingrained in our society, in our culture in this day and age. And another example of the impact that LinkedIn has had in our economy, in our job market, is this right here, where President Obama did a huge speech. All eyes were on him when he talked at the LinkedIn headquarters about jobs and about the economy. So again, LinkedIn is being put into the limelight. Everyone's taking note. Memberships are growing. Their profits are growing. We need to realize how important of a network and tool this could be and is. So Jeff, that's awesome. Thank you so much for telling me these great stories. I learned about you. I learned about LinkedIn. Okay, now what? What else? Why should I even care? Well, simple. I'm going to make it about you. I'm going to give you 10 important reasons why you should care. Number one, there are 259 million registered LinkedIn users. In order to succeed in life, in business, wouldn't you agree that you need to build relationships, get to know other people? Well, what better tool to use than LinkedIn as a way of getting to know people professionally and in the business side, and there's so many people using it. So a great volume of individuals that are constantly leveraging LinkedIn. And we're looking at 35% of users using this platform on a daily basis. So very consistent use among those individuals. If you're going to be interviewing for a job, going to a client meeting, maybe trying to win a prospect over, you need to know about them. You need to know about those companies, about those organizations. Well, good news. You could go to their LinkedIn company page. There's about 2.6 million company pages out there, and on these company pages, they're sharing press releases. They're sharing news about who's getting hired. They're sharing their latest forecasts, blog posts, partnerships. So it gives you great insight on that company, so you can now use that and leverage that information at your internship, or at your interview, at your client meeting, at your new business pitch. So again, great insight being pushed out on these company pages. There's over 1 million groups on LinkedIn, so you're going to find something there for everyone. If you're interested in the financial markets in Europe, guess what? There's a LinkedIn group just on that. If you're looking to join a network of like-minded individuals that are focused on improving their public speaking skills and overcoming their fear of public speaking, guess what? You'll find a group just like that on LinkedIn. If you're an accountant, a CPA in the Jacksonville area, you'll have a LinkedIn group that you could join. And guess what? If you don't find it, you can always create one. So it gives you an opportunity to connect with like-minded individuals and to network and learn from others that are doing what you want to do. And for you to also provide insight to folks that would like to do what you are doing right now. So it's an awesome ground for networking, for building relationships, for staying up to date in your industry, for gathering information on trends that might be around the corner, for gathering competitive insight, for connecting with possible prospects that you can get in front of. So there's a lot of groups out there. Find those groups that are a fit for you. And a lot of LinkedIn users are updating their information very regularly. This is an important tidbit, especially for the salespeople that are hearing this today. Many times you'll have, if you start a new sales job, you might have a CRM, right, a customer relationship management that has all the data for prospects and leads that you should be calling into. And many times you'll notice a lot of that information is outdated, right? Wrong phone number, person's no longer there, they got fired, they changed your email address, they got promoted, they got demoted. And if you're calling into an account trying to get that person's attention, or maybe it's that specific role that person used to have, and you call in and ask for that person, you'll get the runaround. You're not going to be seen like you're in the know, and therefore might get shut out. So it's always good to be as informed as possible when you're getting on the phone or reaching out to specific individuals at these organizations. So because of LinkedIn, right, that's usually the first place people will update if they're going to a new job or starting a new job or got a promotion. They're going to go to LinkedIn and keep that up to date, and it's helpful from a sales standpoint because you're also up to date if you're using that prior to a sales call. So great tool to use to improve your data and your information. Over 5 billion professional-oriented searches are happening on LinkedIn on a yearly basis. So think about it. If I'm looking for a CPA, I could always go to Google and Google CPA, and I'll get a bunch of CPAs and see some of their reviews. At the end of the day, I don't know how I'm connected to those people. But if I do that same search on LinkedIn, I know right away what CPAs are part of my network. Maybe I could reach out to a CPA that has worked with a friend of mine, and I'll be more likely to trust them to want to do business with them because they've already worked with a buddy of mine. I could get even a referral recommendation, and maybe could give me a better deal than someone that just found them on Google. So because of the searches that you could do on LinkedIn, those roles that you could find, people are using it and they're taking advantage of that, and you want to be found, and that's why it matters. That's why it would matter to you, because you want to get in front of those opportunities. LinkedIn users, on average, have a household income of $83,000. So very well-off individuals, professionals, very intelligent and accomplished. You could see by these stats, 7 million C-level execs, 3 million MBA grads, 1.3 Ivy Leaguers, 3 million Ivy Leaguers. So a lot of educated people, great talent. That's how I look at that. If I'm an HR, a recruiter, I want to hire the best people for my organization. Great place to start. You could see those resumes right off the bat and see their education. LinkedIn also generates the more B2B leads than Facebook, than Twitter, than blogs. So before you invest into those platforms, invest into maximizing your presence on LinkedIn first. And then lastly, 92% of employers plan on using LinkedIn for recruiting. So if you're going to be looking for a job, you're going to be applying for a new role, you need to get on LinkedIn, you need to maximize your profile and use LinkedIn strategically, because recruiters will be using that and will be finding you. And if they don't like what they see, you would get eliminated right off their desk and not even get a chance to be called in for an interview. So they're going to use it. Make sure that you're ready and have a great presence when they do. And to summarize, in the single picture, this is really what LinkedIn means to me. It means a Rolodex. And a lot of you young guys and girls that are watching this today, you're going to look at this picture and say, what the heck is that? Well, let me tell you what this is. This is LinkedIn. That's how I would translate it. But what this was or is a place where, my mom was, she loved this. She had one of these. Every business card that she got, she would stuff in this Rolodex. If it's a plumber, she would go to the P's, put that plumber business card into the P's. The locksmith, go to the L, put that locksmith card into the L. So these are people that you met, that you knew, you have their information, their contact information on the business card. You would store that business card in this Rolodex. And then when you need someone, you would go in there and find that person, take that business card out, give them a phone call, and hire them. So this is what LinkedIn is, right? Because LinkedIn, I'm using it to find professionals that are part of my network, that I've met, that I've come across, that I have some type of relationship with. And I'm able to pick up or open up LinkedIn, send them a message, ask them to endorse me so I could start building up my reputation and become the most well-known in my industry. So this is what it is. It's a way to access professional your professional network and their information at your fingertips. And besides just providing that information, right, numbers and email addresses and history of those people, we could also do very specific things on LinkedIn. We could research individuals, research companies. We could plan events better. If I'm going to be doing a trade show or a conference that's only focused for CPAs is my target audience, well, I could use LinkedIn, do a search, find all the CPAs within a 50-mile radius of that event, and start building relationships with those folks to get them out to my event. Much better marketing than running some big type of ad campaign that you're not able to really reach out and get in front of your target audience, and would be probably a lot more money than doing it through LinkedIn. Advertising, though, is also another option with LinkedIn. Marketing campaigns, PR, connecting with journalists, connecting with bloggers. You could do that through LinkedIn. Networking, that's really the bread and butter of what LinkedIn is. It's an opportunity, a tool that will help you network and build those professional relationships. Business development and sales, partnership development. LinkedIn is a must. Do not ignore it. Your competitors are using it for those reasons, and they will beat you because of it. So stay on top of your game and make sure that you're using LinkedIn the right way for social selling, for business development, for sales, and for creating mutually beneficial partnerships. LinkedIn is also great for education, not just to learn, but to teach others. I think it's a responsibility of people like us, right, that are seasoned professionals that are have learned good insight to teach it, because in teaching it, you learn it better, but you also give back. And I think it's our duty to give back once we're in a good position, and even while we're getting there. Recruiting, LinkedIn is essential. I'm looking for good talent. If I get a resume, that's great, but I will then put that name into LinkedIn and see the real resume. Because on your paper resume, you could say whatever you want. On LinkedIn, I could verify that. I could see, okay, you've worked at this past company. Oh, so you work with my friend, because that's a mutual connection of ours. And I could ask that friend what they thought of working with you. And that already, I'm way ahead in my recruiting efforts, because I'm hiring people that others could vouch for. I'm getting all that insight of you before you even come for an interview. And that's going to speak a lot louder and a lot clearer than a resume on my desk. And then lastly, competitive intelligence. Using LinkedIn to stay on top of what your competitors are doing, if they're growing, who they're hiring. You could stay up to date with those changes and make sure that you're one step ahead of them when it comes to business competition. And then this is a question that I get asked quite frequently. They say, Jeff, you have to summarize, what's really the number one key for success with LinkedIn? This is what the number one key is. It's to remember that it's more than just LinkedIn. LinkedIn is not a magical silver bullet that will automatically get you your dream job. It will not automatically put more money in your pocket, get you more sales, get you to President's Club. No, it will not do any of those things. LinkedIn is just a tool. And the tool is only as good as the person that's using it. And it's also only as good as the other tools that are part of your toolkit. So remember that it's more than just LinkedIn. LinkedIn will be an amazing tool, but you have to partner it up with more things. And this is where we're going to do a pop quiz. So right now, stop what you're doing, open up a new tab, go to Google, and Google your name. What do you see? Chances are, if you're Googling your name and you don't have a celebrity's name or a very, very common name, chances are that you'll probably see a LinkedIn page, a LinkedIn link somewhere on the front page. That's important. That's very meaningful, because LinkedIn essentially is your first impression in the virtual world. And that matters, because that's where relationships start. Before I meet you face to face, I might Google your name. Before I go to a client meeting, I will Google that client's name. So what is your first impression saying to people that are searching your name? You need to know, and you got to stay on top of this. And why does LinkedIn rank so well? Why is this page showing up on the front page of Google? Well, number one, LinkedIn has very high SEO authority. Google likes LinkedIn. It gives it a lot of credit. It says that LinkedIn is a credible and authoritative site, so therefore it will rank it a lot higher than other sites you might see. The URL is also optimized. So you see an example. My URL here is optimized. You might not have an optimized URL. So the way you'll find that out is you go to your LinkedIn profile, and you can actually edit this URL right here. And if you haven't edited it already, you'll notice that it's probably linkedin.com /IN / and then some random numbers and letters. Well, you're able to control how that appears. And I would recommend choosing your name, but you also could choose any other keywords that you like. But your name is probably the best thing to choose. And if your name is already taken, maybe think about adding a middle initial to that in order to become found and have an optimized URL. Then thirdly, LinkedIn ranks well because it has a lot of backlinks. When you create a LinkedIn profile, you'll get asked to put your Twitter account, your company link, your blog. So Google is smart enough to create that persona, that file. Okay, this is this individual. This is a good result for their name because of all the content that LinkedIn page has. And then, of course, when anyone's Googling a name, more than likely you'll want the information that LinkedIn is providing. So Google is in the business of providing you relevant search results, and that's why LinkedIn ranks so well when you're Googling your name. And speaking of Googling your name, do it. Don't just do it now when I told you to, but do it every so often. You want to know what's coming up for your name. Keep that brand awareness of yourself and know where you're ranking and what's showing up. Only 57% of adults have Googled their own name, and in my opinion, that's far too low. We need to get this number a lot higher. So Google your name. It's not vain. It's a smart thing to do. In fact, millennials are smart enough. They're Googling people's names before they go out on a date with them. Very smart, right? You don't want to go out on a date with a rapist or someone that's America's Most Wanted, and a good way to find that out beforehand is just popping their name into the search engine. Find out their recruiters are using this information to screen out candidates. If you're lying on your resume, it's so easy to find out now. I just pop in that name into LinkedIn, into Google. I see your LinkedIn profile. I could see that experience. I could see who you're connected to, and I could ask those connections if they could vouch and verify what's on there. So again, there's a lot of transparency nowadays online, but you got to use that to your advantage. 70% of users also have searched online for information about other people. So if you're in sales, you need to do this. I can't believe when I talk to salespeople and they tell me they don't do this on a daily basis, I get upset, I get mad, because you need to be researching your customers and your potential customers. Knowledge is power, and the more you know, the better chance you have of winning business. And the importance of using your name is brand you. So keep your name clean, keep your brand clean, keep it growing, keep it valuable. Be careful, right? Whatever you do offline could still translate to an online impact. So be very careful with what you do both online and offline. And take care of your name. It will stay with you probably your entire life unless you get married or change it, which is, again, there are some instances that are so rare. You want to make sure you're protecting your name. And besides LinkedIn, what else can I be using? Well, you need to be using these tools because this will only amplify the results that you get on LinkedIn. SlideShare, Twitter, Google+, own your domain, set up Google Alerts. All that will supercharge your LinkedIn presence. SlideShare is one of the biggest things you could do to supercharge your LinkedIn presence. If you're in sales, you've got to have SlideShare. If you're looking for a job, you've got to have SlideShare because you could showcase your resume in a much better way. You could showcase your work. You could showcase campaigns that you've worked on, testimonials, case studies, white papers that you've written. I've had, when I was applying for jobs back in college, what I did is I did a presentation, a PowerPoint of my role, what I exactly did at ADP. And when recruiters were doing their homework on me, they would come up on that SlideShare and see that presentation that clearly outlined what I did while working there. So it gave them so much more information, insight on who I am, even before I went in for the interview. So use that to your advantage. If you're in sales, put in your one-sheeters on SlideShare. Send a link over instead of attaching that document to the email, maybe getting it blocked. This is such an easier way. You can even track if these individuals are opening up your white paper and your proposals. Another thing that I recommend you do is monitor your brand. Be on top of what people are saying about you. If your name is being shown in the news, on the blog, someone commented your name on the forum, you need to know. Monitor your brand, your business, your competitor. It's free. You could go now to google.com/alerts and set up all your alerts. So every time someone mentions your name, it's emailed right to you. You can see the link of where that information is at and protect it. Or, use it to maybe it's some good news and you want to find it so you could share on other networks. And then Twitter is an awesome tool because it helps me find good content that I could then take to LinkedIn and LinkedIn groups and share on that platform. I could follow influencers. I could see what the movers and shakers in my industry are up to and keep tabs on them, so then I could now use it for my advantage. And another cool thing you can do with this is LinkedIn. On your LinkedIn profile, you can set up your Twitter handle. So I find prospects that I'm or relationships that I'm looking to start on LinkedIn first, find their Twitter handle, follow them on Twitter, and add them to a special list. So I know to engage with them more often because we're connected already on LinkedIn. So those are things that you could do by synergizing and by integrating these tools. And then own your domain. JebZelaya.com is mine. I own this. My name will be my name forever. And I recommend the same thing to you. Don't pass up the opportunity to buy your name. You might regret that, right? I had a friend of mine, his name got bought out, and then sold to him at a higher price when he needed it at one point down the road. So own it now. Go search on GoDaddy.com or one of the domain buying websites, $13, $15 per year. You can own the domain and then set it up to a blog. If you're a blogger, you could do that. Have your blog be your name. And or if you don't have time to blog and just want to work on your LinkedIn presence, well, great. You could still have your, if someone types in, for example, Tony Chadwell, it would be redirected right to her LinkedIn page. So another cool way to use that domain. And then Google Plus is popping up more and more each day. Google is really pushing this social network. It wants people to use it. And it's also advantageous for you to use it yourself, because if you're connected with other people on Google Plus, it will showcase more information. It will showcase these little pictures next to articles that you write, the press releases that you send out. This is surrounds kind of the theory of how important authorship is as opposed to the importance of a domain or a website name. It's more about the person that wrote it, not the website itself. So get that Google Plus set up, get the authorship set up, and you could start using that to really get your name out there throughout the web. So is everyone ready to become a LinkedIn All-Star? Now, I hope you haven't fallen asleep, because we're about to get to the really good part. And I think we've discussed some really great insight. I know a lot of it doesn't have to do directly with LinkedIn, but it does, because all that stuff that we just talked about will help you in getting recognized more and more on LinkedIn and really getting the most juice out of this platform. And my goal, again, is not for you guys to be average or even advanced. I want everyone here on this call to become an all-star, and it's possible. It doesn't require a lot of time or a lot of hard work, and it will work if you work it. And we're going to go through the steps now of what a LinkedIn All-Star is. And what it translates to is a LinkedIn All-Star is someone that has a 100% completed profile. And it boggles my mind how many people start their LinkedIn profile, never finish it, never become an all-star. So number one, to take that first step in becoming a LinkedIn all-star, you got to have a picture. You got to tell me, who are you? That's number one. A good picture, a headline, location, industry summary, that's a must. Number two, your work history. Where are you working at now? Give me 2 past positions. That's required to become a LinkedIn all-star. Number three, you got to tell me about your smarts, your education. Where'd you go to school at? What degrees do you have? Skills, any certifications that I should know of. All that will help you become an all-star. Fourth, and in my mind, I think one of the most important parts, who you know, who's connected to you. A minimum of 50 connections is required. I would aim a lot higher. The more people you know and are connected to, I look at it as the more opportunities will be available for you. So work on building your connections up. And then lastly, it's your track record. So great, you work here, you do this, you say that you have these skills, but it's all meaningless if no one can vouch for you. You could talk about how good you are till you're blue in the face. That's great. It means a lot more when others are saying it for you. And that's where your track record comes into play. That's another important part, that fundamental of LinkedIn success is having your endorsements, having good recommendations, having your awards, showcasing your success and your track record. So we'll dive into the first piece of this, right? The first step, and this is the biggest part of the first step, your picture. It speaks 1,000 words. Are you saying the right 1,000 words? No party pictures. What type of representation is that of you? If you've got a red solo cup in your hand, or you're flashing gang signs, or have a very short dress on, or something that is inappropriate, no party pictures. Keep it clean. This is a professional network, by the way. It's okay to smile. Many people get afraid of LinkedIn. They think it's all full of suits and stuffy individuals. That's not the case. We want to be approachable. We want to make friends, make business partnerships, and to look approachable and look happy, you got to smile. At least in my opinion, I think it pays off to flash a smile. Don't be too happy either. Don't overdo it and come across like you've overdosed on Prozac that day, because that's really creepy and could turn people away. But look approachable. Look smile. That's always a good thing. No misleading profile pictures. If people recognize you the day, or people met you in person the day after they saw your LinkedIn page, would they recognize you? If the answer is no, get rid of that picture. You need a more up-to-date picture, a picture that actually looks like you in person. That's ideal, because it could rub people the wrong way when they request an interview with you, and you come to their office, and they don't even know who you are. They're like, who are you? Are you the same person that I saw online? And that already is getting the interview off to a very bad start. So don't let that happen to you. And then a quality picture is key. No blurry pictures, no pixelated photos. This is not Instagram, so don't add your customized filter to that picture. And nothing that has a slogan or words in it. You want to avoid that. That's against LinkedIn's terms of service. So you do this instead. And here are some awesome profile picture examples. These are people that look very approachable. They look very welcoming and warm. I want to do business with these individuals. Even Sean up there in the corner standing up. You got two guys looking up to him. He's probably about to get ready to speak or present, and an action pic is something that I really enjoy seeing. And here are some extra tips that will give that profile pic an all-star edge. Have a default profile pic. So this is kind of the default that you always go back to. And that's kind of your theme throughout maybe a couple of months. But within those couple of months, don't be afraid to change it every so often for a couple of days. If you're going to a trade show, an event, maybe a photo of you at that event last year would be great. If you're doing a public speaking event next week, maybe one of you public speaking kind of marketing that event that you're going to be at. All of that will help condition and keep you top of mind and make people aware of what it is that you do. So showcase your personality through those profile pics. Dress for success. That's different for everyone. If you're in a chef, you shouldn't be dressing up in a suit. Dress up in your chef gear. That is dressing for success for your industry. So make it appropriate to where your background lies. And it's okay to have a quirk or a little personality that shines through that picture. That's ideally what you want. I have a buddy of mine. He's well known for his bow ties. Every picture that you see of him has a very colorful bow tie, and that's his brand. That's what he's known for. It resonates with people that meet him. They remember him just by that bow tie alone. So if you have something that makes you stand out, go for it. You don't have, it's not a must. It's not a requirement, but it's always cool to see that in action. But the most important tip here is you got to definitely have a profile pic. Photographs or profiles that don't have a photograph do not get views. The ones that do have 7 times more views, and that's the key to success of LinkedIn, being visible. And once you have that kind of on lockdown, the next piece is your LinkedIn elevator pitch. So this is a kind of a reflection of what happens in the real world, right? You meet someone, first impressions is how they look. How they present themselves. The second thing is what comes out of their mouth, and this is the elevator pitch part of it. This is the part that comes out of your mouth. The headline, that's what catches me. That's the hook. The location, because I need to know where you're at. If we're going to do business together, it's a good information to have. Or I'm thinking of hiring you. I don't want to hire someone in India if you're local. I'd rather that. So you got to tell me where you're at. Industry summary, all key for a good LinkedIn elevator pitch. When it comes to the headline, make sure that you focus on the benefits instead of the title. Many times, and I've been guilty of this, and others in my network have also done this, and I realize that having benefits is way better than having titles. And you could combine both. That's great. That's not a problem. But really focus on why people should connect with you. What kind of advantage and benefits are you giving to others, and how are you helping others? Keenan and Godfrey, pictured here on the last spot there. You talk, we listen, together we'll plan your retirement. Way better slogan and headline than, hey, I'm a financial advisor. So what, right? This means a lot more. It portrays a better picture of who Keenan is. He's focused on listening to what you've got to say and helping you. And next, you'll see the average LinkedIn summary. What did I tell you? I'm allergic to average. I don't want you guys to be average. You did not invest an hour of time in listening to me today to be average. So this is what I don't want to see. This is average. It's okay, right? It's not terrible. It's not superb. It's just in the middle. And because of that, it's not the best route to go. This is the way you want to go. You want to be above average. Be attention grabbing, right? Have a headline that gets people to see, to read, to want to read everything else that you've got in that summary. Compelling, right? Paint a picture of what it is that you're offering people, of why people should get to know you better. Bullets, right? We live in a world where there's so many things fighting for our attention, and the things that get our attention are things that are created in bite-sized morsels that is easier for us to digest and grasp. So bullets is a key thing to use in building your LinkedIn profile summary. And make it about the other person. Make it about the people that you're trying to help, the people that you're trying to benefit, those that you're trying to connect with, more so than making it about you. Have a call to action. So once I read this amazing, compelling, attention-grabbing summary, what next? Make that clear for people reading your summary. Is it connecting with you? Is it going to your website? Is it sending you an invite or emailing you? Make it clear. And avoid buzzwords or jargon. If you're going to use keywords, make sure that you save them for the very end, like this above average summary example here, where he has his specialties and he has all those buzzwords at the very end, so they don't take away from his compelling, attention-grabbing summary here. So this, again, is above average. This is what you want to aim to have in your AllStar profile. And this is my AllStar profile. This is the profile that's helped me achieve 1% of the most viewed profiles on LinkedIn. It's helped me achieve over 30, the most recommended individual on LinkedIn, under 30. I'm not only telling people what I do and how I can help them and creating that call to action, but I'm also showcasing my work and my company's work through media, which is what you see there on the bottom. I have a slide share, a PowerPoint. I have a video, a couple of videos where they could see who I am and get to know me better and my services and my company. So this will get you to the AllStar Elite. So aim to be an All-Star. And once you transition from your summary, then it's populating that work history, your background, where you've been at. This is, again, you want to use those resume bullet points, but then add a little bit of information about the company that you've worked for as well and that company's background. And maybe some of your clients that you service while working at that organization. You could always attach slide shares if you want to put in more details about what you've done at that organization or different accomplishments that you've had. And then showcase your smarts. You want to get endorsed. Put in your skills. What do you want to be well known for? You look at mine, this nails who Jeff is, right? I'm good at social media marketing, online marketing, email marketing, social media, SEO, public speaking. So you can see all my skills, and if you're not getting the right skills, then change them. You can edit them. You can take out the skills that you don't want to be recognized for and focus on the ones that you do. And in order to get people to endorse you, make sure to give. That's an awesome way to get people to pay it back. And then how else can you showcase your smarts? Add in certifications. Add in any awards that you've won. Add in any societies or test scores that are relevant to your business and what it is that you do. All that will help you stand out and showcase really your smarts in the best way possible. But the best way to showcase your smarts still is this right here. And right now, when you go to a restaurant, what do? You type in restaurant reviews. You look at how many reviews they have, how many stars they have, And you typically go to the one that has the most stars and maybe the most reviews as well. Well, in the professional world, a lot of that is starting to happen, and it has already happened. If I'm doing business with someone, I want to know who else has recommended them. Maybe the reason I'm doing business with them is because they've already been recommended, and I saw that and noticed that, and now I want to work with them because they have been recommended by a close friend of mine or a colleague of mine or a past client of mine. These recommendations are quality recommendations that really stand out on a person's profile. So aim to have these type of recommendations. And of course, you got to excel offline to get these online, but I mean, you know that, and making sure that you take the next step in transitioning that, you're well recognized offline and have tons of accolades and accomplishments, start transitioning that and getting it online so you could then spread that and use that and leverage it to your advantage. So when it comes to recommendations, it's always quality over quantity. But if you could have both, why not? What matters in a recommendation is the seniority of a recommender. I'm not saying that a recommendation from a fellow colleague doesn't carry weight, but a one from a director or a VP at the organization will carry more weight. So aim to have a client recommend you, mentors, bosses, high-level executives, colleagues, of course. Yeah, let's take those. Let's take any other individuals that make sense to get a recommendation from. But the more senior they are to you, the better it is, and the more it means. And don't do one-for-one. That dilutes the quality of a recommendation, and be consistent. So don't just get recommendations when you set up your profile, but get them throughout your career. You do a great work on the project, ask the project manager to give you a recommendation on LinkedIn if you guys are connected. You service a client really well, they're so happy, they're telling you how happy they are through an email. Email them back, say, hey, would you mind giving me a LinkedIn recommendation? This will help me build my career. And when you do that, when you ask, you will get them. So that's the key, asking for them, and I'll show you some more of how to get more of these recommendations. But here's a quick story. I was interviewing at Vocus, and I got that dreaded question where they ask, if I was to reach out and call your boss today, Jeff, what would they say about you? And I took a moment, thought about it, but I was prepared. I had my iPad in my hand, and I told that hiring manager, I told them, hey, I could tell you what they would say. I'd rather show you what they said. I pulled up my iPad, went to my LinkedIn profile, pulled up my former boss's recommendation. The hiring manager saw this, read it, put it down, walked out the door, and then walked back in with a job offer. Yes, I got a job offer on the spot because I was prepared and I had people to vouch for what I was talking about in that interview. So to maximize recommendations, make sure you ask, right? You have to ask to receive. Have some urgency tied around it. So don't just talk about, hey, do it when you can, but give them some kind of timeline or, tell them why you need it by a certain date. So if you feel that urgency, they're more likely to do it. People are, I think by nature, a little lazy, so we tend to put it off, so we never do it. So timing, having kind of a set time of when you want that by is key to actually getting it done. And make it easy. So outline for that person that you're asking to get a recommendation from kind of what you would like to be recognized for. And if they agree, then it makes it easier. The easier you make it for them, the more likely it is to happen. But the number one way to maximize the recommendations is just to pick up the phone or see that person eye to eye and ask them, say, hey, I need this favor. Can you help me? It would mean a lot to me if you do this. And then follow up again with them once they do it. But that touch, that personal touch, it's invaluable. So go after it. So once you have that LinkedIn AllStar profile built, this is the results of that. You're going to get more views. You're going to get more people finding your profile. You'll get more recruiters knocking at your door saying, hey, I want to hire you. You'll get prospects that will come to you and say, hey, I see that you work at this company. I'm interested. Can you tell me more? Or I saw your video on your profile about you speaking. I want to hire you. This looks great. Can we talk? So that's what you want to build for yourself, that inbound attention, those opportunities, increase your profile views. That's what becoming a LinkedIn All-Star will do for you. So to recap, to become a LinkedIn All-Star, tell me who are you. Pick headline, location, industry summary. Give me your work history, current position to past positions. Showcase your smarts, education, skills, certifications. Your connections. Give me a minimum of 50 connections. And your track record. Get those endorsements up. Get good, solid, quality recommendations, and a lot of them if you can. And lastly, awards. Win big and put it down in your profile.